You just drove home after a 4th of July BBQ that was deafeningly loud. Or maybe after an exhausting 9-hour shift at an open-plan Silicon Valley-style office. You pull into the garage and turn off the engine, but you don't open the door to step out right away. You just sit there, hands still on the steering wheel. You don't scroll through your phone. You don't turn on the radio. You do absolutely nothing. You just sit still in the dark, letting the absolute silence of the space wrap around you for a solid 15 minutes. Just to breathe. The people around you, or mainstream culture out there, might look at you and call you a weirdo, antisocial, or someone with issues. But science doesn't. Science calls that moment you sit in your car a perfect defense mechanism of your nervous system. Welcome to the hidden corners of psychology. Today, we're unpacking the world of people who crave silence. If you're someone who always feels most at peace when you're alone, this isn't just a random preference. It's how your brain is wired. And people who love silence always quietly exhibit these 5 highly specific psychological traits. Let's see how many of them you have. Trait number 1. You put your social battery on power, saving mode for every relationship. Let's clear up a deadly misconception. Liking silence does not mean you hate people, not at all. In fact, when you're around your truly close friends in a quiet little pub in Brooklyn, you might even be the funniest, most talkative, and charming person there. But the difference lies here. You calculate your social gatherings as strictly and precisely as a Wall Street chief accountant manages their budget. Psychologists call this phenomenon the introvert hangover. Every social interaction, no matter how fun, drains a bit of your energy battery. When that battery runs out, your body goes on strike. If you exhausted yourself attending a networking party on Friday night, then your Saturday and Sunday absolutely must be do-not-touch days. You will decline every call, cancel every coffee date, just to curl up in your blankets in absolute silence. You're not being lazy. You're just recharging so you can continue to survive in an overly loud world. This brings us to trait number 2. Your sensory overload threshold is incredibly low. Try putting an extrovert and a silence lover in the middle of Times Square on New Year's Eve, or a Macy's on Black Friday. The extrovert will see energy, excitement, and vitality. But for you, your nervous system sees it as a physical assault. Many people who love silence possess the nervous system traits of an HSP, highly sensitive person. Your brain lacks a basic information filter. It absorbs everything around you at 10 times the intensity of a normal person. The white noise of the AC system in a Target store, the blinding glare of fluorescent lights, 3 overlapping conversations at the next table, the overpowering perfume of someone walking by. All the things that others easily ignore are constantly screaming in your head. So, for you, silence isn't just a relaxing hobby. It is a sensory detox. It's the only cure to soothe a nervous system that's on fire from overload. Trait number 3. You have a terrifyingly loud inner world. There's a fascinating paradox about quiet people. The quieter their external environment is, the louder the world inside their head becomes. In neuropsychology, there's a system called the default mode network, DMN. This network is most active when we're doing absolutely nothing, and for those who love silence, their DMN is always running at full capacity. Right now, as you sit quietly sipping your coffee, there's a city inside your head that never stops working. You're analyzing every word your coworker said yesterday. You're imagining future scenarios, connecting scattered ideas, and yes, you're even staging imaginary arguments in the shower, and always winning them. Many people fear silence because when the outside noise stops, they are forced to face their own thoughts and fears. But you are different. You crave the silence of the outside world because you need a space quiet enough to process the massive amount of data constantly churning inside your mind. However, at this point, we must step into a darker corner. Trait number 4. Using silence as a bunker. Take a deep breath. Because not all silence carries the color of peace. There are people who crave silence not because they were born introverts, but because past psychological traumas taught them they had to. This concept is called hypervigilance. If you grew up in a home devoid of peace, where your parents' arguments erupted like clockwork, where slamming doors, heavy footsteps, or harsh criticisms were always present, your nervous system as a child learned a harsh survival equation: noise equals danger. You became obsessed with absolute silence, because only when everything is completely silent do you know that no threat is approaching. You lock your bedroom door, turn off all the lights, and put on noise-canceling headphones, not to enjoy it, but to escape. Silence, at this point, has morphed into a bomb shelter. So, the deepest question for you to ask yourself today is, do you love silence because it gives you space to thrive? Or are you clinging to it because you're terrified of the noise of getting heard out there? Only when you can answer this question can you truly heal. But for most of us, who consciously choose silence, you will have trait number 5, thriving with JOMO. American society has always been obsessed with FOMO, fear of missing out. Hustle culture pressures you to constantly move.